So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our Curry era rebuild series, and today it's going to be the Sacramento Kings. To put it nicely, this Kings team was not very good. They finished out the 2016-17 season with a record of 32-50, and as I'm sure many of you are aware, the biggest reason for that is because they pulled off a blockbuster at the trade deadline and moved DeMarcus Cousins to the New Orleans Pelicans. I remember when it happened. I remember specifically rushing to make a video. It was one of the craziest moments of my content creation career, and DeMarcus Cousins was the face of this franchise since he had been drafted. The organization had done a really poor job of really getting him any sort of help with this team. And if you really weren't old enough to watch Prime Boogie, my God, you were missing out on something, man, because he was really special and was certainly the best center in the NBA during this time. So my biggest goal today is to get him some help and hopefully get this franchise moving in the right direction. I will not in all likelihood be trading DeMarcus Cousins today, only 26 years old right now. And of course, that end goal is to get this team and franchise a championship. Just as I did in yesterday's Trading Every Player rebuild, when I went ahead and read you guys off the list of remaining teams we still have to do, I'm going to do the same exact thing right now with the Curry era rebuilds. It's actually the same as yesterday. There's still only 4 teams left. In the East, it is the Pistons and the Hornets, and in the West, it is the Jazz and the Pelicans. So again, it's going to be coming to an end soon, and any other video ideas or series ideas you guys may have, I'd love to hear from you guys down below in the comment section. But very much looking forward to this one today, man. I missed Prime Boogie. He was so dominant and so much fun to watch, and it was a really fun time to be an NBA fan. So excited for it. Let's get into it. I know it has been a minute since we've done one of these rebuilds, so just as a little fresh reminder, the Curry era begins at the beginning of the 2016-17 NBA campaign. This is the first season of Kevin Durant being a Golden State Warrior. Of course, they are basically running the NBA for the next couple of seasons, and it is going to be very tough to be a Western Conference team and hopefully build a squad that is good enough to at least compete with them on paper. All right, man, let's discuss this roster. Of course, as I have also been in the past, this is a Curry era rebuild in the Curry era technically, but I am using a custom roster that has some players on it that the 2K created version of the Curry era did not have. So it's not 100% accurate. It is certainly better than what 2K themselves can put out, though. So let's talk about this team. We're going to go position by position as we usually do. The thing that's probably going to jump out at you immediately is that it is not a very talented squad, and that was pretty much always the biggest issue with this Kings team in this era of Kings basketball, is that DeMarcus Cousins was clearly the best big man in the world, maybe best center. I don't know if Anthony Davis had him beat at the power forward spot, but nonetheless, he was one of the best players in the NBA, and he was so dominant night in and night out. And the incompetence of this front office was really never able to get him any sort of serious help. So that's going to be my one goal today. The first season might not end up being super great. I don't know how competitive we'll be, but again, I'm going to do my best to put a solid core around him, whereas in real life, the Kings actually traded him to New Orleans this season. So let's talk about it a little bit. The point guard spot, there's some okay players here with Darren Collison and Ty Lawson. 29 and 28 years old respectively, are probably not going to go up a lot in the overall department, if any at all. So it could be a position we kind of look to upgrade long term. They're not bad options for one season, but again, both as expiring contracts, we will have to make a decision there. Now, as there are, with the actual, Curry era rebuilds and rosters here, 2K puts out, there are auto-generated players here. I don't like it. It just kind of is what it is. The shooting guard spot is not great. 31-year-old Aaron Aflalo, 30-year-old Garrett Temple. I'm not really a fan of either of them being my starting shooting guard, even in year one. So we could look to upgrade that spot. But again, I'm not going to completely mortgage our future just to maybe get into like the lower end of the playoffs. But again, we'll consider some things. Rudy Gay, I think, was actually the second leading scorer on this team this season. And although his overall is not super high, only at an 81, he's 30 years old, and I think he could be an impact player on this team. Now, the decision we'll have to make is, like many other guys we've seen so far, he's going to be an expiring contract. And what sort of money is he going to demand this offseason? And would that be worth it for us as a franchise to pay him? Probably close to a max contract. I don't know the answer to that. Again, we'll make a decision at some point. Behind him is going to be Matt Barnes, 36, not a long-term player for us. Omri Caspi here as well. He's, 28, probably not going to shoot up a lot in that overall, but it's not terrible. Again, we can kind of work with what we have. I mean, we don't really have any other choice. The power forward spot is terrible. I would say easily the worst position on this team. I thought it was going to be shooting guard for a second, but Anthony Tolliver being not only the one, I guess, somewhat okay power forward we have, also being the only real player here is certainly an issue and something that I will address. And I also get the question from time to time when, these auto-generated and auto-created players are here with these terrible contracts. Do I edit them? And the simple answer is yes, because I'm not dealing with 2K's bullshit. And then finally, the center spot. The one listed 5 we have on this roster right now is DeMarcus Cousins. Again, clearly the best player on this team, the face of the franchise, and is certainly somebody that I want to, keep happy today and hopefully get him a team that is good enough to compete with the Warriors. So that might feel a very long way away at this point. And again, this team is probably not going to be great heading into year 1, but we are going to have to make at least a couple trades before we do kick off this first season. I have made a decision to move on from Rudy Gay. Although he is certainly one of the best players on this team, he is going to be hitting unrestricted free agency this offseason. He's 30 years old, and I'm not saying he's going to be a bad player for the rest of this rebuild. I just think I'd rather invest in somebody like a Chris Middleton, who is already 1 overall higher. Of course, is under team control for all 3 years of this rebuild, while also being 5 years younger. We get this deal done without giving up a single first-round draft pick. It feels like a really big win right now. Something else I want to make you guys aware of is currently, just went ahead and checked, where the hell are they? The Chicago Bulls, for whatever reason, own our first round pick this year. Now, it is top 10 protected. I'm not sure what deal that traces all the way back to. While I was a basketball fan at this time, unfortunately, I do not have every single trade that was actually made memorized out there. So something else that I kind of just noticed immediately right off the rip is that we have the Pelicans first round pick in the year. I don't know if that actually is supposed to be the case or if that was included in the DeMarcus Cousins trade that happened at the deadline in real life. I'll try to do a little bit of research, but I definitely don't want to take their pick if I'm not supposed to have it. So, yeah, we're at an interesting spot because part of me wants to be bad. I want to get a good pick, but I understand the Chris Middleton move probably did just make us a little bit better. So that is one trade down. With all the expiring contracts we have remaining, there are certainly a few more to go. I'll let you know right off the rip that by no means do I think this is the smartest trade in the world, but I ended up settling on a decision, and my decision is that I want to be really bad. I'm going to try to intentionally tank as much as I possibly can. I understand that could be a risky strategy considering our pick is top 10 protected, but it is the one goal that I have right now is getting that pick back and hopefully having it be really, really good. Now, we're making a deal here with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're sending out Darren Collison, whoever the hell Austin Crawford is, and in return, we're getting ourselves Chris Dunn. This deal's being done for a couple reasons. First and foremost, the 7-year age difference I think is going to be really important. And then second, and maybe more importantly, Collison will be hitting unrestricted free agency. Not sure if he's a player I'm willing to invest in long term, where Chris Dunn, of course, still on his rookie contract as he was a member of the 2016 draft class. So really my one thing right now is trying to make trades that don't require me to give up significant draft capital. I think we've done a pretty good job of that so far, and hopefully we can keep it up. We're going to be acquiring a backup center here from the Charlotte Hornets. That center is going to be Cody Zeller. Now, in return, we are sending out Ty Lawson, Ronnie Winslow, and a future second-round draft pick. Cody Zeller is going to be the backup behind DeMarcus Cousins. Obviously, it's not the most important bench position for us, but we certainly have to have somebody behind Boogie playing, at least a few minutes a game. So Zeller is obviously on a long-term deal, only 24 years old, and him being the same overall as Lawson feels like a pretty good move for us. So I think I'm pretty content at this point in time to kind of just let this team be as it is. Something we will likely have to do, which I don't love doing, is sign just a random backup point guard in free agency. I've decided that Chris Dunn will be getting the nod here heading into year 1. Something else to note is that Aflalo and Temple both have options this offseason, or 2 years away for Temple, but I'm assuming that I'll pick up the option on Aaron Aflalo. I understand that $12.5 million is probably not what he deserves to get at this stage of his career, considering, how okay he is, but it's likely just going to be picked up as a trade asset, so I'm going to leave these two as the shooting guards. At least for now, we moved Middleton to the 3. He actually jumped up 2 overalls. Caspi will be his backup, at least for 1 year. This is going to be about as bad as it gets. And again, we're trying to tank intentionally, so it's actually probably for the best. And then finally, the center spot just kind of is what it is. And actually probably one of our stronger spots. So I don't really know what point guards are here in free agency. I don't really need anybody that's like elite, but like, honestly, Chalmers for like maybe 2 years wouldn't. Oh, shit. All right, let me edit one of these piss poor contracts, release the player. I'll sign Mario Chalmers for 2 years. I'll see you guys at the rotation. Very interesting looking rotation as we kick off year 1 here in Sacramento. Now, we ended up making, I think, 3 trades, and I think they're all moves that are going to benefit us greatly as the years go on. They weren't necessarily moves that were going to help us win a ton more games this year, maybe outside of the Chris Middleton trade, but these are long-term moves that will hopefully pay off with the championship by the time year 3 ends. Now, Starting five, I don't know if there's any major surprises in here. In my mind, there really aren't, given what this roster looks like. Chris Dunn will be starting at the 1. Funny enough, if I auto-set this, the game actually recommends I do start. Mario Chalmers, which will not be happening. Aaron Aflalo will be my starting shooting guard. Of course, Middleton, who we just acquired from the Bucks, at the 3. Anthony Tolliver, starting power forward. And DeMarcus Cousins is going to be my starting center. Bench unit will be led by Garrett Temple. I hope that is the only time in my life I have to say that. Cody Zeller behind him. Mario Chalmers will be the backup 1. Omri Caspi, the backup 3. And then finally, Steve Novak, who I believe we got... Was it in the Middleton trade? What deal? We got him in some trade. I forget which one it was. That's how fucking irrelevant all this is. But yeah, it's about as bad as it's going to get for this rebuild. I, sincerely hope that is a true statement, because if it's not, we might be cooked, my friends. But head coach of this team is going to be Dave Yeager, who, I'm going to be honest with you, probably getting fired after 1 year. But the goal is to be bad. Let's have a bad team, a bad head coach, just a bad operation in general. Pretty much just describes the Sacramento Kings in the mid-2010s. But I'll see you guys at the end of what is likely going to be a very miserable year number 1. This isn't baseball, so pretty much 100% of the time, the MVP has to be on a really, really good team, right? We don't give MVP awards to guys who are 6 seeds, right? Or teams that are 6 seeds. But it should probably be DeMarcus Cousins, at least in the conversation, because somehow this atrocity of a 10-man rotation won 37 games. Now, that's not a good season. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're contenders or anything like that, because we're not even in the playoffs. I know that for a fact. But the fact that Boogie Cousins was able to drag this team to 37 wins is absolutely mind-blowing, and just another day of 2K surprising me when I really didn't think anything else would, because I've seen a lot from this game, but my God. Unbelievable season out of Russell Westbrook. Ben Simmons, your Rookie of the Year. Good to see you, Brickleberry. It's been a while. Lou Will, your 6th Man of the Year over there in Los Angeles. You got Anthony Davis as your depoy. I'm just always kind of used to this point of rebuilds and seeing Wemby. Of course, he would not be in the league by this point, but just cool to see somebody else. Derrick Rose, yeah, the one thing that is notable about this, I guess, user-created Curry era is that Derrick Rose is in MVP form, and I'm not really sure why that is, because Derrick Rose in New York was certainly nowhere near as good as he was in his prime in Chicago. But yeah, I guess you got to give a little, take a little, because I'll certainly take this created era over the bullshit 2K puts out. And whoever the hell Todd James is winning Coach of the Year for the Celtics. Almost 100% positive it was Brad Stevens during that time. It was, but yeah, interesting. We're not in the playoffs, which is good. I think I saw that we were a 10 seed. We are, so it's going to be pretty damn close. We might have to get a little lucky in the lottery if we're going to end up keeping our draft pick. It legitimately might end up being 11 or 12, which would easily be the worst case scenario for me if I didn't have that pick. But again, I haven't even seen Boogie Cousins' numbers. I'm sure they are absolutely insane. They are. That kind of goes without being said. He completely carried this team. Chris Middleton was, a nice number 2, but outside of that, we didn't have another double-digit score. So, yeah, you got to give, you got to take a little bit, but Boogie, man, can't you just kind of mail it in? I should have just sat him down. I should have put him on the bench. All right, man. We're not in the playoffs, so, it's kind of like the worst spot to be in. You don't want to be middle of the pack. You want to either really suck or really be good, and the Clippers are winning a championship? Okay. Holy shit, that's a triple-double. That's an insane, series. Not great shooting splits outside of the free throws, but not bad, CP3. Okay, it is player retirement time. I don't know. We have some old players in this team. Is anybody calling it a career? Not that I would be likely looking to bring them back, but it does not appear so. Staff retirements, Hall of Fame inductees, jersey retirements, historic changes. That is the timeout, which is good. Was the timeout system really... The challenge system didn't come in place for the 17-18 season? I don't think so. No, it was post-2020. It was post-bubble. I'm almost positive. All-Star captains, that's fine. Nobody cares about the All-Star game. And then this is just the Nike logo on every uniform. Nike ruined NBA uniforms. I swear to God, I stand by that take to this day. Okay, by far the biggest moment of this video for us so far. I didn't check on that Pelicans pick. Fuck. And our pick's projected to go number 13. So unless we get super lucky, we are likely not going to have our first-round draft pick. It'll be good because we'll get it back next year, but still kind of unfortunate. And it goes to the Bulls at number 13. It does not move. Now, I do not know if we're supposed to have that pick from New Orleans. It's at number 11 right now. I'm going to fact check that, because if that dates back to the DeMarcus Cousins trade that was made at the deadline, I'm going to send it right back to New Orleans. I don't like taking picks that I'm not supposed to have, even if 2K gets it wrong with protections and many other things 10 times out of 10. Goodbye. I'm going to fire Dave Yeager for a couple of different reasons. I don't think he's a good head coach, but he won too many games, and that was not your job right there, my friend. Let's take a look at some of the options we have here today. Doc Rivers would not be a bad one. Of course, could go after Mike Stauffer or Don Nelson as well. Any other head coaches here with pretty solid rating? Mike Budenholzer, Quinn Snyder. All right, I'm not going to offer Stauffer today. I'll throw a little money at Doc. Again, we're the Kings. We don't have a lot of money for our coach, unfortunately. But I'll offer pretty much all three of these guys a contract, and hopefully at least one of them picks it up. Nope, not going to happen. Okay. Well, I don't want to get him because I get him way too often, but if he's going to be the only option that I have, I guess Mike Stauffer is going to be my guy. Look, I tried to mix it up, right? You can't blame me for, at least trying something else. All right, let me fact check the 2017 draft pick, and I'll be back. Unfortunately, I have confirmed what I suspected to be the case, that this first-round pick and the second-round pick from New Orleans were technically from the DeMarcus Cousins trade. I'll just read you off an article from Mark Stein on ESPN.com. The teams announced Monday afternoon that the Pelicans had acquired Cousins and swingman Omri Caspi while sending Buddy Hield, Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway, a 2017 first-round pick and 2017 second-rounder to Sacramento. So the Pelicans are getting their first and second-round pick back. If you're wondering why there's another second-round pick going over to New Orleans, it's because I have to get something in return, and I kind of want even value. I don't know. You can't just send something and not get anything in return. So second round pick for second round pick, they get their actual picks back as well. That sucks. That really, really sucks. It's just like one thing is going wrong after another, and it really just has not gotten better throughout this rebuild. But my one goal right now, at this point, is to find a way to improve this team. We have one second round pick. I'm not going to trade into this draft. I guess I'll draft somebody there. This is the 2017 draft class. This is Tatum. They got De'Aaron Fox in real life. And yes, sir. Now, Derek White's not going to be, actual Derek White, but for a second-round pick, 70 overall, not bad. All right, I'm going to bring Afflalo back. I'm going to bring Tolliver back. I'm not going to bring whoever the hell Nick Gordon is back, but these are contracts that I would certainly never shell out for these players, but here in an unrealistic rebuild, I need those contracts in order to flip them for better players. So, the one positive, I guess, is maybe we're not as far away as I thought, because if DeMarcus Cousins can drag this team to 37 wins and a 10 seed and a pretty decent Western Conference, maybe anything's possible at this point, right? There's some okay free agents here. Chris Paul's kind of one of them that's jumping out at me. Unfortunately, we just don't really have any money right now. So if we want to make a play at one of these guys, we're going to have to clear up some pretty significant cap space. But that being said, we are certainly looking to make some moves to upgrade this squad. An unfortunate reality has kind of set in for me. I have tried to make a few different trades to upgrade this team. Some of them include draft picks for players that are established and that are really good, and it just wasn't happening, right? I'm not going to give up every single future draft pick that I have in order to maybe be a 7 seed in the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. I have decided to take a different path, and it is a path that I have taken before and is ultimately a really risky one, but I think it is going to be the best possible scenario for this team as we head into what is going to be another really bad season, because I'm going to intentionally tank again. And I'm going to move on from some pretty key players that were actually okay for us. Cody Zeller, Mario Chalmers, they're being sent to the Celtics. In return, we are getting ourselves the 2018 Brooklyn Nets draft pick. I already went ahead and checked out this Nets squad, and to put it nicely, they are not good, right? I mean, Brook Lopez and Jeremy Lin are okay at this point, but I just don't really see a way where this team is anywhere near the playoffs next year. So I like trades like this, because this deals with the Celtics. The players that I'm trading away are not going to help the Nets win games, and in return, getting an unprotected first-round pick next year from the Nets, which I know for a fact the Celtics had in real life, is not going to hurt me. And of course, we have our unprotected first for next year as well, which again, we're just really kind of banking on at least one or two of these to be really valuable. So, yep, I don't love bottoming out. It's not my favorite thing to do for 2 years in a row. I'm just really hoping it kind of pays off in the end. Aaron Afflalo and Anthony Tolliver are being sent to the Atlanta Hawks for 2 future draft picks. Now, it is unprotected in 2019. It is top 10 protected in 2018. Technically, I guess it's just 1 pick, but nonetheless, hopefully it is going to be valuable. The Atlanta Hawks at this point are also not really good, and even if their pick is in the top 10 next year, we'll have a really valuable trade asset entering next offseason. So we picked up the options on Afflalo and Tolliver for a reason. It was basically to trade them for draft capital, and we have now successfully done that. We're going to be sending Garrett Temple to the Dallas Mavericks, and in return, we're going to get ourselves Dorian Finney-Smith, a 1-for-1 swap for 273 overalls. We are getting 7 years younger, and after this, DFS actually has a year of team control at just over $1 million. Now, Garrett Temple has a player option for $8 million next season, which he would have likely accepted, and it certainly wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. But Garrett Temple is also 31, and we all know how 2K regression works, whereas DFS might end up progressing. So 1-for-1 swap, not getting any draft picks back, but but young players are certainly also going to be needed. We're sending 2 auto-generated players in Harold Butler and Rich Russell over to the New York Knicks, and in return we're getting ourselves a user-created Kyle O'Quinn. Now, he's only a 71 overall. He has a player option next season for just under $4 million that maybe he declines, maybe he accepts, but at least he's a real player that will be in the rotation for one season. So at this point, we've pretty much stripped this thing down as much as we can. We wanted to hang on to Cousins and Middleton and Dunn intentionally. Here's how it's going to look, at least for now, heading into year number 2. Going to be done, and I'm actually going to play Derek White at the backup 1. It's just kind of the way I think it's going to work best for now. Maybe there's a world out there where I even start Derek White at the 2. I just really haven't decided that yet. We have no listed shooting guards on the roster. We're going to sign some guys. We have cleared up a decent amount of cap space. All of the guys I sign will likely be for 1 or 2 year deals. The small forward spot will be Middleton, DFS. O'Quinn will likely be a backup power forward after we sign a real one. And then Boogie Cousins and Alexis Ajinka are going to be my 2 centers. So we're looking for some guards right now. There are some names out here that I wouldn't mind throwing a little bit of money at, because I think actually if I bring in like Michael Carter-Williams on a 2-year deal for like, I don't know, $4.5 million annually, probably could get him. Now I understand we also have the money to throw some offers at KD, Durant if we want prime Derrick Rose, maybe even Chris Paul, but I just don't think that's worth it right now. I mean, they'd make our team better next year, but we've kind of committed to the tank at this point, and there's also some talented free agents next offseason. So looking at the shooting guard spot, a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I'm actually thinking a little differently because I do not want good players. I'm trying to be bad. I think Jeremy Lamb, user-created Jeremy Lamb, is young enough where it shouldn't really matter too much. And then finally, the power forward spot. There's some, again, okay players here, but if we can maybe go a little bit younger and get somebody like Patterson's only 28, Henry Ellens, and that is not a name I've heard in a while. Okay, there's nobody like 24 or 25 here that's really worth signing. So, you know what? I'll throw a little money at Patrick Patterson, who doesn't want a ton anyways. So we get all 3 of those guys. That's more than cool with me at this point of this video. Yeah, we're just going to be, again, really bad next season, and we've kind of accepted that, and I'm going to live with that role as we head into, hopefully we're actually bad this time around, because that's the one thing I'm a little nervous about right now is that Boogie Cousins carried the living shit out of this team last year. And we didn't almost make the playoffs, but we unfortunately lost out on a potential really good draft pick. So this is what it's going to be heading into year number 2. And I'm just really hoping all those picks work out, and this strategy also did. So a little risky, I know. All right, second season has arrived here in Sacramento. It was an interesting offseason, right? I don't approach many off seasons like that, and I don't do that intentionally because that only gives us then one future offseason to turn this team into a really good one, because we're not going to be good this season. At least I don't necessarily predict that we will be, but last season happened, and I guess anything's possible at this point, right? Chris Dunn remains the starting point guard. We signed Jeremy Lamb. Now, originally the plan was to start Derek White. Jeremy Lamb has just, developed quite nicely, and maybe it will actually turn into a rotation player for me next year. Middleton will still start at the small forward spot. Of course, signed Patrick Patterson. Finally, Boogie Cousins rounding out the 10-man rotation. I actually didn't check. Okay, that's what I thought. That makes me a little nervous because Boogie is a free agent this offseason, and he's an unrestricted one at that. Probably should have thought about that a little bit more before I, did what I did, but I think we'll be able to get him back. Hopefully at least one other free agent. Bench unit will be led by Michael Carter-Williams. Derek White is playing 18 minutes. Dorian Finney-Smith, Alexis Ajinka, and finally Kyle O'Quinn. The one other thing is we have a new head coach who is actually a perfect head coach here in Mike Stauffer. And I'm really hoping all these things that I'm talking about right now are just not going to lead to too many wins, because that is not the goal. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. I don't know why this was so hard to do last year. Just suck. It really shouldn't have been. Maybe Dave Yeager was actually the answer for this team, because we go 9-72, which is probably the worst record in the league, which of course was my one goal last year, and we're just kind of delayed the inevitable by a season. Chris Paul wins MVP, coming off a finals MVP. Lonzo Ball, he is in Dallas, wins Rookie of the Year. Rudy Gay, an old friend, he is in Milwaukee, of course, traded him for Chris Middleton, 6th man. Kawhi Leonard is your depoy. Ben Simmons wins Most Improved. Doc Rivers, Coach of the Year. Not Mike Stauffer. He did exactly what I wanted him to. Okay, standings. If we're not last, I would be wildly shocked. And the fact that it was actually this close with us in Dallas is insane. The Nets were a little better than I was, kind of hoping they would be, but I've been let down a lot in this video, so let's just continue that. All right, here are the numbers. Boogie was really good. Middleton, Jeremy Lamb, Patterson, MCW, Dunn, White, Ajinka, O'Quinn, and then DFS. Rebounds was Boogie, and assists is going to be Jeremy Lamb. So for the second straight year, we will unfortunately not be participating in the playoffs. Spurs end up winning it all. They beat the Wizards. Kawhi Leonard, your finals MVP. All right, it is make or break time. This is only a 3-year rebuild. And if we are not able to get this done, I'll be really disappointed. We are currently projected at number 1. Number 5, oh, I forgot it's top 10 protected. God damn it. And that Brooklyn pick will be ours. But the Hawks pick is going to be really valuable as a trade asset at some point this offseason. So fucking god damn it, dude. Okay, number 4, number 8, and then, the Hawks pick ended up at number 3, which would have been nice, but it was top 10 protected. Good with Mike Stauffer. Let's approach the 2018 draft. This is obviously Luka, Trae Young, a whole bunch of other really talented players. I want to make a play for Luka. I'm not necessarily sure what it's going to take, but I'm going to try to compete for a championship, heading into next year. And I need to be as good as I possibly can at every position. And there's a lot of spots that need upgrades as well. And I do genuinely believe that Luka is good enough to be a starting point guard on a championship caliber team as a rookie. I do. And I don't think anybody else is. So let's try to make a trade. The Charlotte Hornets currently own the number 1 overall selection in the 2018 NBA draft. I'm offering them the 4th overall pick, Michael Carter-Williams, and the 1 second-round pick we have this year. And I'm hoping to be able to get number 1. Okay. Didn't think they were going to take that. Now, there are certainly some other things we could do to maybe get this done. I'll throw in Alexis Ajinka. He's not really needed. Hopefully, I can get this done with just seconds because I do not want to give up another first. Son of a bitch. All right. I don't really think there's anybody else I really want to trade. It would pretty much have to be Patterson or Lamb, and I think they're both important. So I'll have to part with 1 future first, which, seriously? They're not willing to do that. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to offer something similar for the number 2 overall pick. Take out the future first, and then hopefully, maybe they just really value Luka, which, again, if everybody could have a redo in life and kind of look back at that draft, Luka certainly would have gone number 1 overall. Pistons agree to it, though. I'm going to assume they're going to take Luka. They do. But I think we're at a point right now where it's not going to be hard to get this done, because I think I should be able to find Luka in the trade finder here. And, they're willing to trade me Kemba. Okay, which I'm not really looking to do. Could we just maybe do this? I don't want to give up number 8. Could I do this and then a couple future seconds? Because the trade finder in the draft is really bad for some reason. Like, it's not super hard to make moves here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't have been that easy. We also have the 8th overall pick, which I am going to go ahead and draft somebody. I don't know who that's going to be. I've gotten SGA before in these rebuilds. He actually only starts out at a 73 overall. And while he is clearly, either the best or second best player from this draft class, he's not really a position of need right now. We drafted Luka, who I know is listed as a small forward, but we'll bump him down to point guard. And then we have Chris Dunn behind him. So I think I'm going to actually go a different direction, draft a guy like Mo Bamba, who is here and is actually one of the higher overalls remaining. And he'll be the backup behind Boogie because, again, we just did trade Alexis Ajinka. So, Mo Bamba, welcome to the team. Again, not probably my favorite thing, but it is what it is. 76 and 81 overall, respectively. Chris Dunn will be brought back, yes, on DFS. O'Quinn picks up his option. I will be bringing back Derek White. I understand that Boogie Cousins is an unrestricted free agent, and that makes me incredibly nervous. He has no real offers at this point, which I think is really good for us. And then there are certainly some other free agents here that I'm going to offer some contracts to. Now, I'm not sure exactly who those players are going to be, but I definitely have a couple names in mind. So, what I'm going to do is try to do this strategically, right? I'm not going to offer, user-created Jabari Parker money. That's just not going to happen. I'm also not going to throw money at restricted guys. Not like, Joel Embiid or Yusuf Nurkic makes a lot of sense for this team, but it's just not even worth it. So how much money do I have? All right, I'm going to have to clear up some money even after paying Boogie because I have about $18 million after this. I'm going to throw some money at Blake Griffin because I think Blake Griffin would be a big signing for this team. It's clearly a position of need. And if that doesn't work out, because I don't think we're getting LeBron or Russ. I just don't really foresee that happening. I'd love to think it's a possibility, but he would definitely prefer to go back to the Cavs. And I think Russ would definitely go back to the Thunder. So Isaiah Thomas does have an offer from the Celtics, but worst comes to worst, I think he'd be a pretty okay choice for us. So hopefully we get Boogie in one of IT or Blake Griffin. We end up with just Boogie. Less than ideal. Very much less than ideal. Blake goes to Houston. Isaiah goes back to the Celtics. Okay. Well, still not great. I'm going to throw some money at Russ. Hopefully he'll be willing to accept that. I'm going to throw a little money here at Paul George. And again, I'm just hoping to get somebody. You know what? Maybe I'll even throw a little change at, user-created Jabari Parker. Not my first preference, but we're in a pretty tricky situation right now. Fucking god damn it. I get it. You don't want to sign with a team that won 9 games last year? You didn't even sign with anybody? You still prefer the Kings offer? I'll throw it out there again. We're not going to get Embiid, nor does it make any sense for us to do so. Probably not going to work out with Wiggins, but you know what? I'll throw the max contract out there. I don't really have any other choice. Fuck, man. We're in a really bad spot. And honestly, Melo, this is just really, really bad. This is really bad. Woof. Oh, boy. Oh, we do get Wiggins. Now, I'm assuming... All right, I'm going to clear up the money before. I'm assuming it's probably going to get matched. Can I see his other offers? It's going to get matched. It's 100% going to get matched by the Timberwolves. It's not even going to be a debate. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? What? They didn't match it? Oh, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. How much is it? I'm going to lose my damn mind if I don't get him right now. I got to clear up like 6 or 7 million bucks. How is this even possible at this point of this video? It's just, it completely blows my mind. All right, I think this likely means moving on right now from O'Quinn, dumping that money, and then probably 1 or 2 others. Seriously? This is so ridiculous. It really is. It really is. Thank you, Charlotte. If this doesn't get matched, or if this gets matched now, I'm going to be really pissed. How many different ways can I fuck this up? How many? Oh, shit. Blake Griffin's still here. Okay, well, I stopped talking because I was going to cut, but Blake Griffin is somehow here. So now I have to go ahead and clear out some more money because he has no real offers. Oh, my God. I just got saved somehow. I have to clear up some cash, and I feel like we should still have some decent money. I think so anyways. You know what? I have an idea. Oh, wow. Okay, they took it. All right, well, you can laugh at me all you want. I gave up a metric fuck ton of assets and got myself Ben Simmons. The one good thing is that he's only making $6 million. So do we have money now for Blake Griffin? We do. All right, Blake, please accept this. Please. Thank God. All right, well, we now have a little bit of a redefined team. We are in... Oh, shit. My apologies. We're in a spot right now where I think we're pretty good, but I definitely do need to go ahead and find myself a new starting shooting guard. We're going to turn right back around and hit up the 76ers and see if they'd be willing to trade us back Chris Middleton. In this scenario, I would just move Luka Doncic to the shooting guard spot. I have 2 future draft picks. I don't want to give them both up, but I think I would be willing to do it. All right. I know I don't want to say I overpaid because Chris Middleton's really good, but I think he's going to help this team a lot. This bench is going to likely be really bad, and I understand that's a risky proposition, but this is easily the best starting 5 we've had so far, so I do need to figure out some backup positions, well, you know, not having a lot to work with here. So, Chalmers, please. Also, Alan Crabb, potentially. I don't know. All right, no on the Chalmers thing, and Crabb, thank you. And then point guard, other options. Oh, my God. This is really bad. Aaron Brooks. Oh, my, I can't get a win today, dude. It feels like everything I've done has pretty much gone to shit. I mean, Gary Payton II, I guess. This is just, we're in the depths of hell right now. And then finally, the power forward options, which are pretty much equally as bad. I think Austin Crawford's a user-created player that I might have had in year 1, but there's legitimately no other. Actually, I'll sign one of the centers and just move him to the power forward spot. Honestly, like J.J. Hickson, Larry Sanders, I don't think either of these guys can space the floor reliably whatsoever, but it's pretty much all I have to work with right now. I could bring in Channing Frye, but he's just 35, so probably not going to be great. J.J. Hickson, somebody, please. I mean, help me. Good God. All right, this is going to be easily one of the worst benches I have ever had in my life. J.J. Hickson somehow goes up at the power forward spot, but yeah, this is going to do it, man. We made a risky decision, and time will tell if it's going to pay off. We are playing the starters some of the heaviest minutes I think I've ever had in one of my rebuilds, but I think it is a necessary thing considering how the rest of this bench unit really looks in comparison. Now, it is obviously the best starting 5 we've had so far. I still can't believe we were actually able to get all of this together. And hypothetically, if everybody on this team was in their primes, I think there's no doubts we'd be the favorite. But that is not quite the case, and I do think that we'll be in the mix. I just don't know if we're going to actually win it, but anything's possible. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Ben Simmons, Luka Doncic, Chris Middleton, Blake Griffin, and DeMarcus Cousins. It was still one of the biggest surprises ever that Blake Griffin somehow didn't sign with whoever he did and somehow showed up back in free agency, but I'll take it. Alan Crabb, going to be my 6th man off the bench. Got Mo Bamba behind him, Derek White, J.J. Hickson, Gary Payton II. I don't know. I hope it's enough, man. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. After all that, it somehow worked out, at least for the regular season. 71-11. We go from 9 wins to 71. This game never fails to amaze me. We were obviously really good. I mean, that kind of goes without being said, but I was still a little nervous just given the lack of depth this team does have, or doesn't have, I guess. Russell Westbrook decided not to join us. We made him a contract offer. He decided to take his talents to Indiana and won his second MVP of this video. Luka does win Rookie of the Year. Pretty awesome. I understand there's, 4 other All-Stars around him, but really solid year. D'Lo coming off the bench in Los Angeles. Kawhi wins a second straight DPOY. Ricky, Todd James, once again, Coach of the Year. Really? Mike Stafford went from 9 to 71 wins, and he couldn't get Coach of the Year? Okay. Let's talk about the standings. We are the 1 seed here, which kind of goes without being said. We have the best record in basketball, and let's dive into the numbers a little bit. Blake Griffin leading the charge. DeMarcus Cousins, Ben Simmons, Luka, Middleton, Crab, Bamba. There's the numbers. Rebounds per game is led by BG as well, and assists is going to be Simmons. I was almost going over to the East. Okay, here's the Pelicans team that we have in round 1. Well, they're pretty good. I wouldn't say they're necessarily better than us, but I would say they're solid and not my favorite first-round matchup. We do sweep them, though. We are now moving on to the San Antonio Spurs, who have back-to-back DPOY, Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Elder Pau Gasol, and Elder Tony Parker. They're a solid squad, obviously a very experienced group, and I just really want to win right now, man. I really do. We're up 3-1 at the moment, and we end up winning in 5. Now we're moving on to Denver here in the Western Conference Finals. Zach LaVine's a nice new addition. Why Jamal Murray's not starting over Emmanuel Mudiay is a decision beyond me, but Nikola Jokic is really good at this point in his career. Him versus Boogie, Prime Boogie, would have been a lot of fun to watch. We are currently 2-2 right now. We go up 3-2, and we win the series in 6. And we are taking on the Boston Celtics here in the NBA Finals. Isaiah Thomas, his Celtics tenure was some of the best days of my life. Avery Bradley was a fucking dog, if you don't remember Avery Bradley. Jaylen Brown has developed nicely. Got Olynyk, Al Horford in here, Jay Crowder, John Collins, Marcus Smart, Scary Terry. All right, they're much deeper than we are. We might be a little better in the star power department, but I'm nervous. We go down 3-2. Not great. And we're heading back to TD Garden in Boston, and we have to win this game, obviously. And we started out really, really well. You got to hold it. You just got to hold the lead, man, and hope for the best. Should be good. All right, back to Sacramento, Game 7. Do or die for both teams. We have come so far, and it would be so unfortunate to end this one on a really bad note. That's bad. We had a really shitty first quarter, and are we going to be able to recover? I really hope we're going to be able to. All right, man, I will try my best. As I'm sure many of you are aware, I absolutely suck at this game, but I will give it my best shot. We are down 4 on our home floor in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Chris Middleton is at the free throw line. 3:39 left on the clock. First free throw for Middleton is up, and it is good. Wow, that one was a little close. I auto-switched to put in all the starters. I hope that happened if they were not already in. It appears that they were. Second free throw for Middleton is up, and it is good as well. All right, 2-point ball game. I just mentioned it before we hopped in. I'm not good at this game. You're all familiar with that. I just have to make sure at this point that I do everything in my power to... Oh, shit. I got caught sleeping. Avery Bradley for 3. I was asleep. All right, Ben Simmons, what I need you to do right now is just abuse Isaiah Thomas. I mean, look at this matchup. There's no way in hell that Ben Simmons should not be driving to the rack every single time. And this is the good version of Ben Simmons. So I just need to abuse that mismatch. All 5'9" of Isaiah Thomas against, 6'10" of Ben Simmons. We clearly have the advantage there, and certainly in a couple other areas as well. That one is missed. Simmons grabs his 5th rebound of the game. And again, we're just going to call for the ISO, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm just going to crossover, just bully Isaiah Thomas down the lane. Simmons gets the easy layup. Again, I don't want to keep doing the same shit, but if they're going to put a 5'9" point guard on a 6'10", 6'11" guy in Ben Simmons, then I'm not going to, pass up that opportunity. I can't keep falling asleep. All right, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to play defense with Ben Simmons. That's I think, the new game plan. Again, just drive. Drive down the lane. Seriously, you got cut off there? That ended pretty quickly. All right. It's their fault. I'm not going to feel bad about it. If they want to do stupid shit, they're going to get a stupid result. We are down 1. 2:15 left to go in this game. Ben Simmons, I need you to be the elite defender that you are. That wasn't even me. It's just a back and forth affair of Simmons versus Isaiah Thomas. It genuinely is what it is at this point. I'll call for a screen right now and put the slower, older Al Horford in the mix, and Simmons is going to, again, go right to the rim. It's about as easy as it gets. Possibly could be. All right, I'm going to try to play with Blake Griffin a little bit. We're here in Kelly Olynyk. Again, Isaiah Thomas probably going to do his thing. I'll try to help a little bit here. Gets stuffed. Okay, that was what I was looking for. We needed one stop, and we finally found it. Simmons, Simmons! Let's fucking go, baby. He's up to 27 on this game, and he is absolutely torching the Celtics right now. They cannot guard him at all. We can trade buckets, because I don't think they're going to stop me, and honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop them. But as long as we get the final look, I think we should be pretty good. All right, not playing on-ball defense. Not happening. Avery Bradley, do not pull a throw. I got stuck. How did Marcus Smart not drive on my jump? He's going to drive against Luka right now. Luka, you fucking traffic cone. He missed it. Oh my God, he fucking missed it. Give the ball to Ben Simmons. All right, 1 point game. Again, not broke. I'm certainly not going to fix it. Foul and one. Fuck, I don't want to shoot free throws with Simmons. That's not ideal. Hopefully he can hit at least one. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Simmons, first one. Oh, it goes. It goes. All right, 2 point game. I'd like to make it a 3 point game, but, you know, I don't want to beg for anything right now. Oh, my God, I got a green release with Ben Simmons. That is insane. Absolutely insane. All right, we're going to use our Boogie Cousins right now. Hopefully they don't put him in a screen because Isaiah Thomas against Boogie would not be ideal for us. Isaiah actually gives the ball up to Bradley. They're going to get a shot off with Smart. No, they're not. Oh, my God, I jumped again. They're kicking it. Good defense. Good recovery. Good recovery. Give Luka the ball. All right, push the pace. Push the pace. They're not going to play any sort of defense, and Luka gets the easiest layup of his life or dunk, whatever, and we go up 5:47.3 on the clock. Oh my God. Keeping the starters in the game, nothing's going to change again. Maybe there's a little bit of a better defensive lineup. Actually, I don't know. This bench sucks, but just going to try to deny Isaiah Thomas the ball. I do not want to let him get the ball. He's obviously their best player. They're going to kick it to Smart. They're going to kick it into Horford now. They're going to work the post. I jumped. He caught me, and yeah, that didn't work out for me. I'm so bad with the pump fakes. I really am. All right, we're going to give Ben Simmons back the ball. It is technically still a one-possession game, and I'm going to waste some clock right now. I'm not going to waste the possession. We're just going to waste the clock, and I'm going to continue doing what has been working for the entirety of this video. I'm going to get it under 24 and drive on Isaiah Thomas, because why the hell wouldn't I at this point? Simmons. Layup is good. 20 seconds left. Boston timeout. Oh my God. We got it, man. We got it. I think we're good. Simmons has been on fire in this game. What does the defensive lineup look like? Just curious. It actually leaves the entire starting five in there. So, you know what? That's what we're going to do, right? Why would I change anything at this point? Again, going to try to deny Isaiah Thomas the ball. He's probably the guy they're going to try to get it to. They're going to run, looks like the same inbound play as before. And, yeah, Smart. They're going to go back to Horford. They're going to let Olynyk do something with it here. Just, no. IT, Marcus. Oh, no. That's bad. All right, Luka, get the ball. I know he's a rookie, but I do not want to risk shooting free throws with Ben Simmons again. They're probably going to take another timeout after these free throws, which is fine. Big ones here for the rookie. First one up, it is perfect. That is exactly what I needed right there. Still a one-possession game. This one hits it. It's not 100% over, but it's pretty damn close. Second one, slightly. No fucking way. They don't go timeout. Oh, my God. They do not go timeout. No way. Okay, I think we're good. Holy shit. No offense to one of my favorite players, Al Horford. I'm a diehard Celtics fan. You all know that. But why the hell is he the guy that is taking that last shot? You have to find a way to get that ball in Isaiah Thomas's hands. And a very well-deserved Finals MVP for Ben Simmons. He absolutely torched Isaiah Thomas. And yeah, I still can't believe they didn't adjust in some way, shape, or form. Wow. I know this video has been long enough. I've been recording for an hour and 15 minutes at this point. I cannot even imagine what it's going to look like after I cut it, but this was a very, very fun rebuild. It was an interesting one. It was a challenging one, and it was a ultimately successful one. It was a risky way, in a risky path, I guess, if you will, that we took, but it obviously worked out very well in the end. So, yeah, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As I mentioned, we will slowly but surely be wrapping up this series along with the Trading Every Player rebuilds, and then after that, man, I'm looking for video ideas. So let me hear everything and anything down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.